Hi everyone, long time and no see. Let's start typing David Lynch. I don't know how long I'm going to spend on this typing, but
It's the house is the goal, and blueprint can be a nice thing, but it isn't the house. The same way with the script, it's not the film. So, but it helps you find the structure and organize things to a certain degree, and it goes always bit by bit. It just doesn't. You don't see the whole thing at once, and the way it unfolds is anybody's guess. It's kind of a magical thing, but eventually it gets there.
When you say it's anybody's guess, does that include you?
Oh, for sure. Ideas are the number one thing. And if you,
so just from watching like 1 minute, we can say that he is not the clearest person, like not necessarily ST or step by step how he does things. So maybe ST is not where I would start.
you have some, it, if you have the first idea, that's the most critical one.
Also, when he says he doesn't know the finished product, he doesn't have the end goal in mind. He just goes like with the flow of things, I guess, like one thing at a time, rather than completely being focused on the end product. Is might be hinting at OE rather than OI.
And then I say it's like bait in fishing. That idea will, if you focus on it, it'll draw other ideas
What he is doing with his hands, I don't know.
in. And but you don't know. Like fishing, you have to have patience. You don't know how long it'll take, but if you keep focusing on it and wiggle the line a little bit, it'll bring them in.
So he's using a bit intuition here, where it's like making a movie is like fishing. You don't know when it will come, rather than giving like a descriptive. He is giving a general idea with intuition.
I'm very interested in logic, but there's logic
It's funny, he says, I'm interested in logic. So,
is not like
interest is still a filler word.
um, there's a kind of a like it goes toward abstraction. There can
Again,
be
he's doing
logical
the hand
things that are
movements.
abstract. It's a I really love intuition. I love intuition. And to
Intuition loves
me,
you
what
too.
they told me is intuition is the intellect and emotions swimming together. It's like a knowingness. And a logic means it feels correct.
So, this is funny. Logic is it feels correct. I don't think if logic is necessarily it feeling correct, rather than blocks matching up and leading to a conclusion that is true. That is how I would describe it. But it's funny that he thinks it means it also gives you a feeling. It's not necessarily a feeling, I would say.
And it's logical. It's logical, but not in a kind of a there's degrees of it.
Do you feel that people, when they see films in the movie theatre, basically kind of go, oh, I know what it was about?
There's nothing wrong with that, and that's very satisfying to know what's going on. But at the same time, I love abstractions, and the power of cinema to tell abstractions is huge. So it's as if people either don't have so much intuition, or they don't trust their intuition, or whatever. And there's a lot of noise in the cinema, and if you're not paying attention, because every little thing is got to be right, and you can kind of you got to get into that world, and then trust your own intuition.
So yeah, this wasn't a blaster lesson that we can say for sure. Tell you how to use intuition, or he doesn't tell you how to watch the movies, or how to understand his movies at all. Yeah.
About this book, and I said, no, I never heard of it. I thought he said June instead of Dune, and so I read it, and I had a meeting with Dino, and I liked him right away. I didn't know if I would like Dino, and I loved the book, and so we,
Filler words again. I like him. I like the book. I didn't know the book, but I like the book. Type of things.
started working together. But his daughter, Rafaela, it was the producer, and she was fantastic.
Talking about people, name dropping, classic decider things. I don't know if he's a decider or observer yet, but yeah.
Fantastic, and she did a fantastic job of putting together a giant machine. We had, at one point, 1,700 people on the crew, building and doing all sorts of things. It's been very strange for me because these jumps from Eraserhead to Elephant Man to Dune are huge leaps. But Dune was a picture that took this much money, and so I never saw this money, and I just treated it as a normal picture. And it took 3.5 years to do it, working 6 days a week. But still, the process of making the film is the same, tuning into this material and getting it somehow onto the screen. I didn't read science fiction, and Dune is a strange science fiction because it has other things woven into it. It's not what you would call like just a space hardware science fiction picture. When you sort of try to tune into the material, you sort of feel what this essence is, and in Dune some things could fall away, and I still felt that it was still saying Dune, and other things had to stay because if they went away, it wouldn't say Dune. And so I just...
This is again very intuitive. Some things are requirements for the Dune, some things are not. And if those things went away, it wouldn't be Dune anymore, rather than being very censored.
Tried to tune into the material and be true to the book and get it down to a realistic length. It took a long time. It was a year and a half working on the script, and then many rewrites in the middle of shooting to make things more understandable. And I was always finding these little pieces of this puzzle. Suddenly, I'd realize some part was missing in one person, and those qualities are a quality of innocence, a quality of strength, and that could go into leadership, a quality of intelligence in the eyes, and a sort of a spiritual quality on top of that. And it sounds like there'd be many people that maybe could do this, but we never found it all in one person that way. Everybody in the film working with him said that Kyle is a natural, and he is a very good actor, and they respected him a lot because of his attitude and his seriousness about the whole thing. He'd never even seen a camera before, and we did a screen test. It was the first time he'd ever been in front of a camera. I didn't want to stay because he was a rock star, and then I saw him in a film called Brimstone and Treacle, which I don't think has come to France, but it's a British picture, and I saw him, and I saw this, I said, he's got to be, he's perfect for this character. And now in many places in the world, people think Sting is almost the star of Dune, because during the time of Dune, he became a superstar, and now everybody puts pictures out with him, but then they become crazy because he's only got a small part in the picture. But he does a great job, and he was super to work with, but he's not the star of Dune.
Again, he's talking about people a lot. Is this processing people, or just people are in the story, one of the observer objects? I don't know yet.
I felt in Mexico City that I was in a strange world, and I was in a foreign, place.
By the way, everything that he talks about, it's from his point of view, and not the, I don't see the...
And when I finished shooting at night, I'd come home, but I was still never in a normal world. And it was a dream city. It was a romantic city. It had strange architecture. It had this mood to it. And it helped me a lot, always staying in this mood of doom.
It helped me staying in this abstract NF world, maybe, but that's what he's trying to say.
David Page of Toto came down to Mexico, and I talked with him. And when you're sitting with someone talking to them, you start seeing things. And in David Page, I saw lots and lots of music that he wanted to make that wasn't like Toto's music. And he's really a genius. He's got tremendous...
Again, he's talking about people. I don't know if this is an observer necessarily, but this is just one of the first videos I watched.
I'm Michael Phillips, principal product designer for Avid. The green was coming out of darkness. And as I was looking at this, I heard a wind, and I saw the painting plants move. And I thought, wow, that's cool. If paintings, moved and there were sounds. So that got me going on my first animated moving painting. That led to going deeper into film, and certain things happened that led me deeper in, and I kept getting green lights. Film to me is sound and picture moving along in time. And it's like music, because music, flows through time. And there are movements, and there are changes, and there's many opportunities when you play with time. Stories they can be abstract, and people can still understand them. more often than not, stories are pretty concrete, and there's not a lot of room in them for abstractions. And I love abstractions.
Yeah, okay. So I don't want to go like more. My full guess would be like visual, FINE, consume with blast last. And he doesn't really seem like a friends person. Probably number three. So yeah, that was a fast typing. Bye bye.